Spurs on 501. Been a couple of weeks since which time we just about managed to beat Burnley at home, and nobody really can believe that we actually managed to beat a relegated team. Maybe we might beat another relegated team at the close of the season to at least stay just above Chelsea, because it looks like Pochettino has turned the corner there and moved Chelsea up to a much, much stronger position, which actually jeopardizes our position in fifth place. But today we're going to talk about a number of things. One is, isn't it interesting that the manager did not understand why most Spurs fans didn't want Arsenal to win? Because you know why we didn't want Arsenal to win? Because, Ange, we were never going to win. You put us in a position where we would never win anything. You knocked us out of the cups, put us out of the Carabao Cup without even trying, knocked out of the FA Cup, knocked out of everything else, and not even in the top four. So what else have us Spurs fans got to look forward to, apart from pouring a bit of misery and a bit of salt in the wounds of our local rivals, the Gunners? Are you wanting to deny us that pleasure too? But poor Ernest, the best thing would have been if we'd beaten City. I mean, what is he, a Gunner in disguise? We also, Poch was an undercover agent at Chelsea. We now know that he's actually a reasonably good manager that has turned around the club, and probably next year will be competing for probably everything. He did get them to a final after all. So maybe you should start learning something before you start talking. And then he goes on about our weak underbelly. That's what we're going to talk about today, our weak underbelly. We have a weak underbelly. So you have some of the best defenders in the world. You have whoever you want in midfield with quite a lot of good players. You play an expansive game. You play a game which is very, very open. You play a very, very high line with an inexperienced keeper, and you're blaming the team. Well, actually, I'm blaming you. You're the manager. You're the one who decided to play like this. You're the one who can't change your tactics. You're the one who hasn't got a clue how to do things differently. You're the one who's a one-track minded human being who hasn't got an idea outside of one idea. And that is not how games or anything is won. So before you start criticizing the team, why don't you look at the way that you're using those players? Why is the way you're using that talent? The most successful managers actually look at their talent and use them in the best way they can and get the best out of whatever they've got. That's why you see some teams that maybe aren't as good or have got as much money as us probably doing better than we are because those managers know how to operate. So I just suggest look at yourself before you criticize the team. Look at your own tactics before you criticize the team, and maybe learn some more technical skills about how football is played in the Premier League before you start going on about how this has got a softer underbelly here. Because everything that happened on that day, especially against City, was really, really eye-opening. And the one game the Tottenham fans didn't mind losing, you went out of your way to try and bust a gut to try and get us to win it. Why didn't you do that against all the other teams that we played? Why didn't you do that against the Gunners? Why didn't you do that against Liverpool? Why didn't you do that against Chelsea? Why didn't you do that in all the other games that you lost in a row? But you had to pick the one which would help the Gunners win the league, right? To actually turn it around. Not good enough, buddy. Not happy. Not a happy fan at all. What I want is a manager that understands me, that understands the fans, and that actually does stuff that will make us happy, not just ums and ahs, blames this, blames that, plays a bit of expensive football, loses every game, and is now putting our fifth spot in jeopardy. So before you criticise the team, look at yourself. Thank you, and thanks for listening.